Exact, what are you from your school? Exact, what are you from your school?
This session is going to be very brief, like I said. There are so many artists here, industry people here, and I'm sure that Sarkodie is happy to see all of you. So get your questions ready, five of them. But Sarkodie, thank you very much for agreeing to know. Let's start with your legacy and your career. What has brought you this far?
I think I had the best experience as far as we had to be redoing this. I didn't have help when I was coming. I didn't have somebody sit down and speak for me to pick few things, which is good and bad. The good side is I was allowed to make my mistakes on the go. So I was figuring it out. But for some reason I just felt like being authentic was one thing that stood out for me. So you hear Sarkodie, you see Sarkodie, you only see this guy, or so authenticity was like my top priority in the beginning. And also taking things slow and not skipping the process, because that's the way you build anything strong. Whether it be in the building, career, anything, you can do your checks. It's facts. You have to go through the process. If you skip it, it's not strong enough. So I think that's what I did. I took time to go through everything. When I say everything, God can I say, and that's my big boss, Mr. Bego Santana. He saw the day one. He's been there till today, so he can tell you what the grind was. There was no skipping process. You had to go through it. Yes, usually don't skip it, and then just go through it. That makes you build a strong brand and makes people feel attached to it. So I sell story more than music. Music is the icing on the cake. You sell a story. Somebody was once a guy walking on the street. So if you ask a typical South Asian, of course, you can rap. But more of the story. They see themselves like you, and it's possible for them to go from here to there. And today, I believe that's my strongest selling point that makes the brand Sarkodie. And I would say the last one is love what I do. And when you say you love something, people just do that thing about. When you love something, it's way deeper than how people say it. If you can quit something, you don't love it. If you can feel like you want to stop doing something, you don't love it. And I have this funny thing that I say. There's a shop in Taiwan. This woman, people don't even go there to buy anything, but she's always open. And that they should be there. Maybe I'm in the Taiwan too. I know the only person that will open is that woman. It's just consistency. But she just loves opening the shop and just being there. So that's the same thing with music for me. I love music. I didn't do music to become Sarkodie, a famous person, and people you know. I want to just when I rap to somebody, the person is excited. That's to me my thing. I enjoy it. Till today, that's what I want. When I'm writing, I'm thinking about salvation. And the line we get out. You know, they're gonna love this. 2 days, that's what I do. I don't sit down to write hits. I don't do all of that. It's out of love. So when you love something, the ups and downs come and go, but you can stop it because you don't even notice that there's ups and downs. All you notice is just making music. That to me will be the top one to build a legacy. You have to really get into what you're doing.
Okay, I mean, speaking about consistency, let's get into it because there are people who have been doing this for quite a while, you know, but they haven't gotten anywhere close to. How did you manage to go through, you know, that waiting period? Because you make it sound very easy, but I'm sure that it wasn't as easy as you made it sound.
I believe that. I've had this conversation with other people. They said the same thing. But yeah, you're saying that it's not that easy. But mind you, I was in the same space. There was a lot of people that were not liking what's happening with them as well. So if you think, even to this, there's 2 people that doubt, which I understand is life. That's what you have to understand, it's life. Some things are not meant for everybody. Some will like it, some won't. But funny enough, as humans, we are wired to respond to the ones that doesn't go in our favor. So we can say yes, 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 yes. When somebody says, you'll be shocked that you focus on that comment and try to understand why the person said that. So that's what we normally do. We just start the time on the negative energy. I don't have to be a fan. I keep telling people that come to me, even young artists, this is happening. What do you think? I'm like, my opinion, I can say something that will bless you, but I might not like it, but I'm not the one to tell you whether you're going to make it or not. Maybe it's not made for me. You know, so that attitude of knowing that you're headed somewhere, you see things at night. When you sleep with your alone, you know what you're seeing. Nobody can be able to interfere with that. One thing I can say as Sarkodie is I'm a very stubborn person when it has to do with decisions. When I make a decision, that's it. Nothing you can do to stop it from forward. So that one thing might be you have to work on yourself to get to that point, but you need that resilience to be able to move further. But if you listen to stuff and you get stuck in your journey and then you can't move forward, that's when you trouble yourself. So build that resiliency and then just keep going. I think you're going to make it.
Do you get to speak with a lot of upcoming artists and tell them these things? Especially, let's focus on the kumasi artists. Do you get to tell them some of these?
When I get a chance to have a one-on-one, I'll pass on my knowledge. I believe journeys are different, but we have certain facts that everybody can apply. So somebody's journey might be different on how they're going to grow. Because I see certain routes that people take that I didn't believe in it, but it made it. You know, so all I would say is just keep doing what you're doing and love it. So when I get a chance to meet them one-on-one, I've met a few of them and then we have conversation. Yeah.
But I'm sure that you've also seen some take a certain approach that you think isn't the best. Have you?
Yes.
And have you reached out to them to let them know? In the position that you are, being a legend.
I've done that before.
You have? To who?
You want me to be specific or?
Yes.
No, I can't mention names, but I were responding to things that I felt in the long run will go against them. Because it's about what you say, what you put out there. You know, so I reached out, like, you know, calm down. I know things can get to you, but be very careful what you say. Because people will be watching you with what you said, instead of just listening to what you're doing, you know, or the music you're putting out. So things like that can reach out. If it's that level, I think, and I'm close to you, I will.
Okay. Now, with kumasi specific, the answers here, what do you think is the problem? What do you think is the reason why they're not getting the kind of mileage and exposure that they should get?
The invitation, or to me, I think they are getting a fair share of what's happening.
Are you? Are they? And why are they? No. So the journalists here are saying no. So
No, you see,
it's happened, happened.
you see, one thing is when you take everything on a grand scale, right? Let's take it all the way out to Africa, right? You know, Ghanaians always complain, and Nigeria always say, Ghana, but when you take it on the grand scale, okay, I should go so far. What was Sierra Leone? What was Kenya? What was the other places?
But some people argue that if the whole country,
Yes.
if the artists of the entire country could come together, maybe we could be a force to fight or go head to head with the Nigerian artists, but we are not. So the Kumasi artists for many people are behind. And you are saying you're not seeing that, but the journalists here say they see that. I think, do you see that as well? Yeah.
Okay, let me make one comment. So I was, of course, when I see this in Western, I still see that, okay, at least if you have these number of artists coming from Kumasi, it's not that bad. Other regions can also complain. But what I see works, not just music, in any business. That's why we're here today, the ecosystem around it. Because what we do is point fingers. So media men will say the artists will say media men, and then the fans too, is this. It's an ecosystem. And if you see the ecosystem as you being part of it, your role will be a top priority. Trust me, the crowd, people, the consumers are part of the ecosystem. When you go out there and we're doing shows in London, and then somebody who's the Ghana, no, that's where it starts. So me, my top priority is that if you come on my page, my main page, if I have to post any song, that's what it's my CV and letter, I know one knows. It has to be from a Ghanaian. You can go all the way back to, you can go and check whether you think I'm lying.
It has to be a Ghanaian, your song or any other song.
Any other song that is
But
on
do
my
you
song.
support artists, upcoming artists, like you should?
That is my top priority. I'm not
Do you?
perfect. Yes, of course. I'm not perfect. I'm saying I'm better than
Does
everyone.
he?
Yes.
Let's put our hands together for you. And let us begin to go.
So it's a whole ecosystem. Sometimes the conversations we are having can also drag us back. Right? Instead of we talking about this person has done this one has done that. So I want to see you on the beach or the Grammy stage. Guess what? When you are on that red carpet, I will be a top priority when you see me.
Right.
So that is how it happens. When Stoneboy, Shatawale, Blacko, Sarkodie gets on the red carpet, there's a bunch of Nigerian presenters. They are waiting for their guys, right? So when they see me, they're talking to me and they see the video, oh, Sark, I'll be back, then go there. So then you see more of that. So there's more to it. I used to go to the BET and I'll be there by myself. Every time I've been on the BET, the time that I won, it was only me and my team. My best BET experience was when Stoneboy won because I was there with Stoneboy, Magic Michelle, and John DeMello. Can you imagine? We are in LA, we have our table, we are vibing, we go and see the stars and come back to your people. But then every time the other, you see them, bunch of them, the media, the producers, the businessmen, the artists. To me, the artist is always the icing on the cake. To make this thing happen, the artist is the last part. Artists are doing music. If you want to have a big concert, to date, we don't have me, Storm, Shatawale on the stage outside Ghana.
Why?
That's the point. So that's where the ecosystem comes in. So people have to be leaders. You have to lead the vibration of leaving a legacy. Stop saying Shatawale, there's somebody friend of my way. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. You know, I said the farmer. So it's way bigger than we have a conversation about just investors, artists. It's bigger. We'll be out for the role and let's play it. And that's why I'm excited for today, because we're not talking about one problem from artists or this. It's a whole ecosystem. And when we all enjoy, funny enough, you will start making more money as a radio host if the country is thriving. Let me change this. I'm very passionate. I try to control myself with this one, but this is a conversation that's really dear to my heart.
Sure.
I remember speaking to Channel O when Channel O was like very huge at that time, and I said, "Why are you guys not hosting the awards here in Ghana?" And they said it straight to my face. There is nothing going on in your country. Right? There is nothing happening in your country. That's interesting enough from our PR perspective. For people to feel like, oh, Ghana, that's where we're going. At that point, there was nothing happening. And I came back and like, okay, so what are we doing? How can we do stuff together? Let's put things aside. Trust me, with the pride that people talk about, the artists like this, it's worse in Nigeria. But we have people who can put that aside and bring them together. If you wanted to wait for Whiskey, Burna Boy, and the video to be under one roof, it was never going to happen in our lifetime. This is artists. Creating people is different. We are in our own boxes. But when Sewa here becomes the leader, and now create a relationship with Shatawale, Stonebwoy, and Sarkodie, it's a phone call. Shatawale General, my big mama, Sarkodie, my friend of mine, then you get all of us together, you put us on one of the biggest stage. If we do this in London, you can imagine what will happen.
So, you know, and I'm interested in this one because every time a Nigerian has sold out at the O2, for instance, this conversation comes up. Which Ghanaian artists can sell out the O2? And I have maintained the position that
you were all put under one roof, even me, part of it, Shatta, part of it, Stone, part of it, Tanzania, Diamond, part of it. When they got the data, that is where you start to see them using the data for one. So they didn't start Whiskey show, they didn't start Burna Boy show, not the video show. It was One African Concert, it was on Club, it was all these festivals that we were doing, and then they were able to gather Africans and people in the diaspora under one roof. Nobody was able to do those numbers. But when they came together as an ecosystem, they created that. And that's the format that we are using for individuals. So if you're thinking you're waiting for Sarkodie to go and gather all the Ghanaians in London at once, I'm not saying I'm not a good artist, but this is business.
right.
So we need that ecosystem around the whole industry. And when we do that, well, let the young man say, you deal with me and Shatta and Stonebwoy DS for just that moment. After that, who is? Are they calling us to come and join again? When was the last time that you see that the parity with Nigerians? We could do the same thing.
Right.
If Mr. Baby says he's bringing Shatawale Stone, Sarkodie to London, and then Whiskey as a surprise guest, of course we're getting the numbers, but it's still a Ghana initiative. So until we get to do that, we can't complain.
So let me understand this. Why isn't that happening? You haven't gotten anybody to invest?
So let me give you a format of what happened in Nigeria. There's a guy called Oga Polo who did the One African Concert.
Yeah.
So Polo deals with all of us. He will pamper you like a baby, you know Polo. Oga, he's up now.
So you want to be pampered?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there is a lot that goes into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The leader knows how to deal with that.
Right.
Because they know what they want. It's beyond you. It's beyond Shatawale. It's bigger than even he himself. It's for the whole ecosystem. Now Polo is not active. But Polo, let me give it up to our Ghanaian brother, GHBRAIN. All these people play the major role to where Afrobeat is today. So some people have to take the chance. We could be lucky that maybe ourselves, myself and Shatawale are in talks already. Hopefully we can round up what we want to do. Sometimes we get to the final point that we go back. Hopefully this time we can do it. But this has been my stance over the years, and I don't feel like putting any negative energy out there. But one thing I'm saying is this is a big opportunity for anyone. It's not just a big cool Saturday. Even if you are here, you have the leadership skills to be able to bring people together, organize stuff, do all these things. It's bigger than somebody's personality, or how somebody is, or how somebody speaks. Because it's way bigger than that. It's a whole ecosystem. Sarkodie, if Ghana doesn't survive, my legacy is not safe. So I can go and achieve this for myself, and go to the BET and do the Grammy. It will be forgotten. I swear to God, like it will be. There was a post on the BET page.
Those infrastructures in place to make sure that, you know, the stories are getting out there as they're happening. Do you have plans in that regard to let them, you know, carry them with you?
Yeah, so we do. Personally, artists can take PR people and take it there. That is what you do personally. Stonebwoy has a great voice. I do that as well. You can go with people to put your narrative out there. That's different. That's your personal business. What I'm talking about goes beyond what you're doing personally. I've been there, done that. I've seen that I was creating legacy for myself, but I was missing out on putting Ghana out there. I realized it wasn't because Sarkodie has to do everything right. It's way bigger. That's the point I'm trying to make. So we have other people that go out there out of their way. I'm talking about promoters, the investors. I don't want to mention it, but I met one guy, one big man who owns a big company here in Ghana, who's a Nigerian. Met me at the suits shop. And I went to him, Baba, let me Sarkodie, so I remember you, we booked you for a show. How's everything going? How's Ghana? I have to support Whiskey, because I think he's doing amazing. So I put down, I don't want to mention the glamour, it's insane. Right? I'm not saying everybody has to do that. But this thought process is different because the business he's doing, he knows that the ecosystem around him will still support him as his business. So when you see it like that, even from a media perspective, if that's how you see it, Sarkodie calling me, yes, that would be a plus for me. But me personally, it's my agenda to push this country. That's all I'm going to do. If I don't have the money yet, but this is what I want to do. GHBRAIN was doing it for us. We have a bishop from Nigeria who does that. Nobody necessarily calls. When I do shows, he's the first person who is there to cover the show and put it out there, to change the narrative of what people think about Ghana. So all I'm saying is, the blame game, we can do that. I will take, but what you just said is true. Sarkodie, artists might be doing something. Same thing with the media. We are all not perfect. And let's look at the bigger picture. Even if you narrow it down to kumasi, the top priority should be your people. If you do that, I think, yes, you'll drive.
And I can't wait to talk to Abeku because I would like to know what the NDC government's plans are to push this agenda. Because we definitely have to see Ghana on the map, right? And I'm happy that Abeku has that position as the Deputy CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority. Now, when you were speaking earlier, you talked about the business part of music. The fact that there's an album of yours that you have, your fans had a share in the shares of that album. And over time, we've had conversations about people monetizing the work that they do as artists. And so, after a period of time when they have retired or they are not as big as they were, they have nothing to show for it. There is no money, and even for some of them, even at a very early stage, they still don't have money to show for it. You have been able to do this. I don't know how much is in your bank account, but it's very obvious that you're doing very well. Who will be what do you think is the missing link? Why haven't we been able to monetize music properly as artists in Ghana, and especially Kumasi?
So it's two. I said one there, investment. We really don't have investment. So those artists, if you ask them, will be putting his hard-earned money back into it. So Ghana will build a default entrepreneur without you trying to be one. It's good, but it's bad because it's not everyone who was built to do that. So when you become an entrepreneur, you know how that feels like. Every penny goes back into it. So to even treat yourself is hard. To go and just get yourself the things that you think you want is hard. You always have to put it back in. But if we have people to offload that pressure, all the young ones coming, trust me, there's a lot of talent. When I go on TikTok, it's crazy. Talent upon talent. But then people have to agree that there's a lot of investment that goes into music. That's number one. We don't really have that. And then when we have investors, music is a bit different. It's a long-term goal. It's a type of business that you have to wait for a while. If you are looking to cash out this same year, you don't come into music. You don't try to, let me invest and make money by December. That's not how music works. A long time, and then you're going to be set for life. And I'm being honest. I can't compare any business to music. If anyone tells you that music doesn't make money, I'm here to tell you that's a big lie. One of the best is actually on the top. That makes people money. That's I'm talking individually. Imagine someone here who's controlling Shatawali, Sarkodie's own boy. Just imagine that. You are the one that owns Sarkodie and Shatawali and Stoko. You. That's it. So it's a good business to get in. The investors are a bit scared. But I think it's way safer than any other business because you notice this is where the money is. Then the next one, I have one in my head. What are we talking about?
We're talking about monetizing the music industry.
So that's another part. We don't have that. Because our biggest numbers is here in Ghana, whether we want to lie to ourselves or not. I make my money from the diaspora, which is the tiny bit of what I'm supposed to get as an artist. Because the good one I know, Ghana. My top audience at the back end is funny enough to Kumasi.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's Kumasi before London, America, Accra. Yes, Kumasi is up there, and it's obvious. In some beginning, I am waiting. So, Kumasi, but I'm missing out on making any money from kumasi. Unless my main rappaholic. But on a daily basis, kumasi is streaming. We find ways that the government can make us collect all these and get back to the artists to put it back into the work we are doing. Since we don't have investors now, this is the little thing that we can get to make money. All these old age artists, what music can make for you monthly? There's no old age artists who should be asking for you money. From no one. But if you listen to their stories, somebody gave them some small change and then took the music. So now they don't have nothing to live off. So if that's if the system was right, nobody would have been able to get them to sell their catalog. So there's a lot. But these two, the investment part and then the monetization of the industry, if we get that right, Ghana really needs to go anywhere.